Nathan Carter had learned long ago that life rarely went the way people planned. 5 years earlier, he had been just another young man with simple dreams. A stable job, a loving wife, and a small family. For a while, he had it all. Then one terrible winter morning changed everything. His wife, Emily, had kissed him goodbye before leaving for work. She never came back. The accident happened only 3 blocks from their home. By sunset, Nathan had become something he never imagined being so early in life, a widowed father. His son Oliver had been only 3 years old then. Now Oliver was 8, and Nathan had spent the last 5 years trying to be both parents at once. Some days he succeeded. Some days he barely held things together. But no matter what happened, Nathan had made one silent promise the day Emily died. Oliver would never feel alone. A life built on sacrifice. Nathan worked long hours as a maintenance technician at Greystone Holdings, one of the largest companies in the city. The company's headquarters towered over downtown like a monument to wealth and power. Nathan had never stepped beyond the service floors. People like him didn't. Executives rode private elevators to glass offices with skyline views. Maintenance workers used the back hallways and service doors. Nathan didn't mind. A job was a job, and this job paid enough to keep Oliver safe, fed, and in school. Still, raising a child alone meant every dollar mattered. Every hour mattered. And sleep was a luxury Nathan rarely enjoyed. Midnight in the quiet city. That night Nathan finished his late shift just before midnight. The city streets were almost empty. Cold wind moved through the quiet blocks like a whisper. Nathan pulled his worn jacket tighter as he walked toward the bus stop. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Oliver's babysitter. Oliver fell asleep early tonight. Don't worry. See you tomorrow. Nathan smiled softly. Oliver had been struggling with a math test all week. The little guy had stayed up late studying. Nathan had promised him pancakes in the morning if he did his best. Nathan chuckled to himself. Guess I'm making pancakes. Just as he reached the corner of Maple Street, he heard something. A faint sound. A whimper. Nathan stopped walking. The sound came again. Soft. Thud. Almost like a cry. Nathan looked around. The street was empty. Then he saw movement near a dark alley beside a small park. Something was there. Something small. A lost soul in the dark. Nathan walked slowly toward the alley. Hello? He called gently. The whimper came again. Then 2 small glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. A dog. A golden retriever. But something wasn't right. The dog looked scared, exhausted, and its fur was muddy. Nathan crouched slowly so he wouldn't frighten it. Hey there, buddy, he said softly. The dog hesitated, then slowly walked toward him. Nathan noticed the expensive leather collar and the name tag. He wiped the dirt off the metal plate and froze. The name engraved there made his eyes widen. Luna, property of Victoria Hale. Nathan's heart skipped. Everyone at Greystone Holdings knew that name. Victoria Hale, the CEO, the woman who ran the entire company. Smart, brilliant, and famously intimidating. Some employees joked that she could fire someone with just a look. Nathan had only seen her once before, from across the lobby during a company event. She moved through the room like someone who owned the world. And in many ways, she did. Nathan looked down at the dog again. You belong to the boss, huh? Luna wagged her tail weakly. Nathan sighed. Well, looks like you had a rough night. The decision. Nathan checked the time.
12:23 a.m.
He could go home. Call animal services. Someone else could deal with it. But Luna leaned gently against his leg. Her body trembled. Nathan shook his head. All right, I get it. He scratched behind her ears. "You're coming home with me tonight." Nathan's small apartment building stood quietly under dim streetlights. Luna followed him up the stairs like she had known him forever. When Nathan opened the door, the apartment was silent. The babysitter had already gone. Oliver was asleep on the couch, wrapped in his dinosaur blanket. Nathan smiled, but the moment Luna stepped inside, Oliver's eyes opened. The boy blinked sleepily, then gasped, "Dad!" Nathan winced. "Buddy, you should be asleep." Oliver jumped up and ran toward them. "A dog!" Luna wagged her tail enthusiastically. Oliver knelt down, laughing as the dog licked his face. "Where did she come from?" Nathan rubbed the back of his neck. "It's a long story." Oliver hagd Luna tightly. "Can she stay?" Nathan sighed. "I'm pretty sure her owner would like her back." Oliver frowned. "Who owns her?" Nathan hesitated. "You know the company I work for?" Oliver nodded. "The big building?" Nathan nodded slowly. "Well, this dog belongs to my boss." Oliver's jaw dropped. "The CEO?" Nathan laughed quietly. "Yeah, that one." Oliver looked at Luna again with amazement. "So, we're dog-sitting for a billionaire?" Nathan chuckled. "Just for tonight." But deep down, he had a strange feeling. Something about this night felt different, like the universe had quietly shifted. The next morning, the next day at work, Nathan walked toward the main building entrance with Luna beside him. Employees stared as he passed. Whispers spread instantly. "Is that the CEO's dog? Where did he get it? Who is that guy?" Nathan ignored the attention. But when he reached the executive floor reception desk, the secretary's eyes widened. "Oh my God! Where did you find Luna?" Nathan rubbed the back of his neck. "Near Maple Street last night." The secretary grabbed the phone immediately. "Miss Hale needs to see you." Nathan blinked. "Now?" "Yes." Nathan swallowed. Maintenance workers didn't get summoned to the CEO's office. Ever. Victoria Hale's office was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the entire city. When Nathan stepped inside, he saw her standing by the window, tall, elegant, powerful. Victoria turned slowly. Her sharp eyes immediately landed on Luna. "Luna!" The dog ran to her happily. Victoria knelt and hugged her tightly. Relief flooded her face. But then, she looked up at Nathan, studying him carefully. Silently, Nathan suddenly felt like a student being examined by a professor. Finally she stood. "You found her?" Nathan nodded. "Yes, ma'am." Victoria crossed her arms. "Why didn't you call animal services?" Nathan shrugged slightly. "She looked scared. And cold." Victoria's gaze softened for half a second. Then she asked the question. A question Nathan was completely unprepared for. Her voice was calm, but direct. "Tell me something, mister." "Nathan Carter." "Mr. Carter." Victoria looked him straight in the eyes, then asked quietly, "Why would a man who clearly has so little choose to help someone like me?" Nathan blinked. He hadn't expected that, not even close, and he had no idea that his answer was about to change both of their lives forever. Nathan stood in the middle of the enormous office, feeling completely out of place. The floor beneath his boots probably cost more than his monthly rent. The walls were decorated with modern art pieces he didn't understand, and the massive glass windows showed the entire city stretching into the distance. But none of that made him as nervous as the woman standing in front of him. Victoria Hale, CEO of Greystone Holdings, billionaire, and now, the owner of the dog that had slept on Nathan's couch the night before. Luna wagged her tail happily beside her, completely unaware of the tension in the room. Victoria crossed her arms and looked at Nathan carefully. Her question still hung in the air. Why would a man who clearly has so little choose to help someone like me? Nathan rubbed the back of his neck. He hadn't expected something like that. Honestly, he hadn't expected anything at all. He had just found a lost dog. But the way Victoria looked at him, it felt like she wasn't just asking about the dog. Felt like she was asking something deeper. Nathan finally shrugged. Because she needed help. Victoria's eyebrows lifted slightly. That's it. Nathan nodded. I didn't really think about who owned her. He gestured toward Luna. She was cold, scared, alone. Victoria studied him silently. Nathan continued. And my son would never forgive me if I left a dog out in the cold. For the first time, Victoria's serious expression softened. You have a son? Nathan nodded. Oliver. He's 8. Victoria glanced down at Luna, who seemed perfectly happy. So you took her home? Nathan chuckled lightly. Actually, she kind of invited herself. Victoria almost smiled. Almost. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Nathan shifted his weight awkwardly. He wondered if he should leave. Maintenance workers weren't meant to have long conversations with CEOs. Finally, Victoria said quietly, You know Luna is worth more than most cars. Nathan blinked. Seriously? Victoria nodded. She's a trained therapy dog. Nathan scratched his head. Well, she also likes peanut butter sandwiches. Victoria looked surprised. She does. Nathan nodded. My son shared half his dinner with her. Victoria let out a quiet laugh. It was the first genuine sound of amusement Nathan had heard from her, and it changed the entire atmosphere of the room. Victoria walked back to her desk and picked up a small leather folder. Then she looked back at Nathan. Mr. Carter, how long have you worked here? 3 years. And before that? Nathan hesitated. I was an aircraft mechanic in the Air Force. Victoria's eyes sharpened slightly. Interesting. Nathan shrugged. Not really. I fix things. Victoria flipped through some notes on her tablet. Your record says you've never missed a shift. Nathan nodded. I try not to. Why?